Someone commented on YouTube that the lighting is too dark.
Yeah.
And that the camera quality isn't great. Oh, and he also didn't like the background thing. I like the background. I feel like it's better. I feel like white would make it look like we're in a hospital or something.
Yeah, true. Maybe we can, if it's just the background, like, I don't know.
Maybe we could get a like single color.
Yeah, maybe a single color. I can see a single color.
Yeah, we could move the lights a little closer.
Yeah, so see, we take feedback seriously.
I guess that's better. It needs to be even closer.
So,
turn around, bright eyes.
Yeah, it's bright.
It's brighter, yeah. Your face looks brighter.
So today we wanted to talk about firing clients and getting fired.
By clients.
By clients.
Yeah. Okay.
I did the intro, but that's it.
That's on me.
The rest is on you.
Oh my God, this is such a chaotic episode.
Okay. Should we restart?
No, let's just keep going. I'll just cut it out a bit. Okay. I feel like we should talk about when to know it's time to fire a client.
Okay.
Because I feel like we've done this many times, which says more about us probably than a client. But it's because we don't like, I think we feel disrespected pretty quickly.
Yeah. Something to unpack in therapy.
Yeah. No, just
kidding.
It's because we just value respect really, really highly. So for us, priority number one when we work with someone is that they respect us, which I feel like is, for me, it's like a duh, right?
Yeah,
But I think other people are maybe less so.
Yeah, I think that we don't see ourselves as, of course, we're a service provider, but we're not below anyone. We are like a partner in this project. And if I'm not being treated as a partner, or we are not being treated as a partner, I just really don't like that.
Yeah, same.
And I can take it for a while. And it depends on the circumstances, how long I have to take it. If it's a one-time thing, I'm like, okay, bye, fine. Then it was a one project and we did it and it's over. But if it's something that evolves into a long-term partnership, then this is something I cannot tolerate. I just can't, because no amount of money, okay, let's say not the amount of money we got paid for those projects would justify that someone treats us like that.
Yeah, and we had a client recently that actually kind of fired us, but we also wanted to fire them, which is funny because I feel like it was both sides were like, this is not working.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why we felt like we wanted to fire them was that they were disrespecting our expertise.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the language they use. So when they say things like, oh, this should be a quick task.
Yeah.
Or
this shouldn't take long.
Or if it does take long and you explain why it took long, or you explain, okay, this is going to cost more because it's going to be complex and it has a high level of effort. And they come back with, I don't understand how that can take that long. It's just a simple XYZ. Like using language like, oh, it's simple.
Oh,
after
it's quick.
You've already communicated that it's complex.
Yeah. Like we are not here, like we are not out there to scam people.
We're also not out there to have to justify why something took the amount of time it took.
Yeah.
It's just a fact that it took that long, and that means it costs that much.
I think it's just, if you respected the work, you can just say, this is my budget. What can we do? Is there like a quick fix we can do for this? Like, what are the alternatives? But the thing is that wanting the best solution, but not wanting to pay for it, that's why it gets super difficult, because of course we want to be like a good service provider. We are like really always looking for a good compromise. We're never there to like, oh, whatever, we're just gonna do the laziest thing and getting paid the highest amount. We're not doing that. And I think since we are being super fair to the client with what we offer, with what we do, like with how we work, we expect the same back.
Yeah, and it's been a really long time since we've had the case where we wanted to fire a client.
Yeah.
This is one of the first times in probably the last 2 years, if not 3 years.
Yeah, that's right. True.
Yeah, because we learned how to set boundaries and things. Plus, I also feel like our prices already attract clients who understand value. and understand that it's a lot of work and that anything that's extra is going to cost more. And the thing that happened with this client is someone came onto the project that didn't have the full context of the situation, but then acted like they did, or changed the context of the situation. And suddenly everything we did, not that we could, I don't think we could have done anything right anymore after at that point. They already decided we had done everything wrong and it doesn't fit to what they need. And then they basically were like, yeah, we need to do something. We need a different solution because the requirements changed, and they just fired us, which we were so happy about.
Yeah, these things happen, and it could happen with the best intentions.
Yeah.
Like, this was something where we both were like thinking, okay, there's nothing we could have done to prevent this, because we did everything
we did everything that was asked of us, and we did everything that was in the contract. If things changed since then on their end, it's not our fault.
Yeah.
I think the reason why we would have fired this client is because I feel like they were giving the energy that it was our fault.
Yeah.
And that's where I felt like we were disrespected.
Yeah.
Because how is it our fault if they changed the requirements at the end of the project and it's suddenly not what they need anymore? I mean, how is that my problem? Go buy it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which is what they're doing now.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Which is fine. I think we need to normalize being fired by a client and also firing clients. I think that kind of thing would have bothered me a lot more 3 years ago.
Yeah, now it's fine, because again, we see it as a partnership, and we see it as equally
beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. So we get something out of this partnership, and they get something out of this partnership. And if someone doesn't see the value in you anymore as a partner, then they're gonna start exploiting you. Then they're gonna start treating you, I would say, quotation marks, like shit.
If they don't value what you do, and if they use language like, oh, this shouldn't be hard for you, or this should be easy, or this should be simple, again, it's tying the price to how long you take on things. And that's also, there's an issue with that as well.
It's also disrespecting you as an expert, because it kind of means like, it should be easier, and I know that, and you're either scamming us or you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, if you take longer for this, then you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly. And that kind of like, okay, that already hurts us like reading that as someone, or as like people who are really trying to do their best and have like years of experience. Yeah, thank you. Years of experience in that field. Like, yeah, it's just such a difficult conversation.
I think it's important to remember that if a client is coming to you for creative services, you are the expert in that situation.
Exactly. You're the partner.
Even if they know what they're doing to some extent, they don't know it well enough to do it themselves, otherwise they would. And then they're hiring you to outsource that work because they don't want to deal with it. And so you are the expert in that situation. In the hierarchy, you should be the one telling the client, this is going to take this long, this is this level of effort, and this costs this much. And if they have any opinions on that, fire them. No, 100%.
Fire them.
No, because if they already are questioning those things before you've even started, or if they're already questioning those things when it comes to like a proposal or you're bidding for the project or whatever, they're never going to change. I feel like that's a personality thing, and we've seen it. It's always that personality type. And there's this personality type in the workplace of they think they know better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Regardless of their experience.
Yeah, I guess it's like a red flag to look out for.
It's a huge red flag, and nothing you say, nothing you prove to them, no amount of work you do for whatever amount they want you to do it for will ever change their opinion on you.
Yeah, because
or on the work.
It's just like it's to show, because we have clients where they never question us.
Yeah.
And like,
a lot of those clients also have a lot of knowledge and expertise in the stuff that we do.
Yeah, exactly.
Not once do they question how long it's going to take or the level of effort. They always ask us, how long do you think you need for this?
And we bid something, and then they say, this is the budget. Either they say, yes, that's fine, because they already thought it's going to take approximately that time. And if it's like something where they think, oh no, this is not a high priority, so they don't value it a lot, of course. But then they are like, okay, trying to find a compromise by, okay, so if this is not possible, what can we do for, I don't know, X amount?
Yeah.
Then we say, okay, we could like, I don't know, just
cut something here.
cut something here, maybe have like a really basic
Phase
version.
1, phase 2.
There are so many solutions to this, and we are like more than happy to like provide a solution
Yeah.
for a budget. Like, yeah, so
There's no reason for somebody to come to you, want to buy your services, and then to question every single thing that you do.
yeah,
Like question how you do it, how long it takes you to do it, if you even know what you're doing, if you're good enough to do it in this amount of time, like that even means anything, because you could be super good at something and you're just slow. Like you could be an expert and you're just slow because you take your time, or you could be really bad at what you do and you're really fast. Like time doesn't mean anything in these situations.
no, also it's unfair because
Yeah. obviously.
usually if you know more, it's gonna take
faster.
you less.
Yeah.
So, or it's
Also-
gonna take you more because you know all the dependencies, you know everything you need to.
You really check everything that
Yeah.
someone who doesn't know what they're doing might skip.
Exactly. So
they
it's
don't
such
know.
an arbitrary.
Plus,
thing.
there's also the value of doing it fast.
Yeah. I mean,
So just
that's-
because you're fast doesn't mean you should automatically make less money.
yeah,
I mean, that's also the basics of hourly rates, that they don't make sense because of that. So all of this comes together. And then if your client is sitting opposite from you and telling you, using language like, oh, it should be a quick fix and this shouldn't cost a lot of money, it's just bullshit. Like,
yeah, this is not, it's not productive. Like there's so many different ways to communicate that, and with the clients that we have, it usually goes completely different. The process of
yeah.
it is just so different, because even if something takes longer than they expect, the thing isn't, they're not gonna say they should take less. They're gonna say, okay, this is the budget, what can we do here? Or
I also think the time it takes should be irrelevant.
yeah,
In general, like
mean-
obviously there are like timelines and deadlines, but how many hours you take for a task or how many days that takes shouldn't be a talking point.
I guess it is if it's about the hourly rate.
Yeah.
So that makes sense then to ask. They have a budget, they need to know how long this takes. So if it's like within the budget, basically.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be like the person who was buying, the people who are buying the services shouldn't be assessing the amount of time a task takes
No.
by saying things like, this should be a quick thing.
Yeah, no. Totally.
Like
Totally with you
they're
there, yeah.
already putting in their expectation. They're telling you, like packaged in their request, it shouldn't take long. Like FYI, this is a quick thing, by the way.
Yeah.
This is easy, simple thing to do.
And usually
And for
those
you as
people
an
have-
expert, this
Yeah.
shouldn't take long.
Exactly. This is kind of the
And then they're basically telling you, yeah, it's such a huge ick, but they're
Yeah.
basically telling you, don't price this high because I know it's not going to take long, and you better not take long
exactly
because I know it's a simple task.
yeah.
But they shouldn't be the ones, they're not in a position to assess that.
Yeah. They're not. And it's like, that's honestly the biggest red flag you can look out for.
Yeah.
And you already get that super early.
Yeah, that's what
Like-
I'm saying. It's a
Yeah.
personality type. You can tell.
Yeah. So this is what you get already super early, probably in the first call already. You can already probably assess. Plus, you get like a gut feeling.
Yeah. I mean, when you've met enough of these people, you just know.
Yeah, exactly. So just look out for cues of someone already questioning your work before you started working on the project. So
I think it's important to fire these people in a diplomatic way.
of course, don't just be like,
Don't burn the bridge.
no.
So, like, I don't think we ever really burned, and maybe we burned like one or two bridges, but
At least.
maybe two. But
We did, for sure.
wait, what was the second one? I'll cut it out.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I forgot the second. The one I was thinking of, the second one I forgot. Okay, so two bridges we burned, but most of the clients we fired, I feel like we fired more than we've been fired, especially in the first years. I feel like we fired everyone.
No, we didn't fire everyone. I think it was more like a thing where it was like the
It
project
was,
over.
no, it was like how do you say when you soft ghost someone? It was a soft firing.
You mean like, yeah, you're right, because
Because they did, a lot of them came back to us for additional things. And I feel like it was a soft firing. It was like a low key, over a longer period of time, we phased out that business partnership.
yes, but we did it in a way where it was like we did it in a way where we made our prices higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it
We
was like,
raised our prices, but we also said to them diplomatically that we are not the service provider for them anymore because they can't afford us. Like, not in those words, but that's basically what we communicated.
Yeah, I think we did two things. First thing was a bit less than, yeah, I guess in other words, that's what it meant. But we just said, hey, these are our new prices. So if you want to book a project with us, this is our base price.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, I don't know, it could cost more. And some people are like, oh, this is too much. Like, okay, fine, then buy. It was kind of like that. I don't think there were a lot of I don't remember the instances a lot where we genuinely said something that we are not the provider for them anymore. I feel like we just raised our prices.
No, I mean that's basically what that was saying.
Yeah. Yes. I thought we said that, and I was like trying to remember.
I don't remember anything in general, but
I think I have it a bit blacked out, to be honest, the first 2 years.
No, but I feel like most of them were like soft firings.
Yeah.
Over a longer period, some of the clients we initially worked for low prices came back for additional work, and we told them these are our new prices. And some of them, a couple were like, that's fine. And then we continued to do work for them.
Exactly.
Most of them were like, oh, okay, that we can't afford that, and thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
None of it was bad or in like bad faith or anything. But that's what I mean by it was a soft firing.
I got it. Yeah.
I feel like if you don't change your prices and you want to fire a client, you should just be like, hey, this isn't going to work out for me. I just don't think that we are compatible or aligned on, you can ask ChatGPT, write me like a diplomatic response to this. I feel like it would give you a good one. But basically, yeah, just that you're not aligned on process and things like that.
Yeah, because it's possible. It's not like, not every client is for you.
Yeah, I just like in our most recent Substack post, there was a paragraph in there about the experience of being in like a cycle of low budget clients. And the thing is, we had a lot of work, but it was a lot of the wrong work.
Yeah.
So it was the wrong work in terms of the budgets and the scopes and the amount of stuff we were doing at a time. It was all wrong, you know? And at the end of the day, yeah, we had money and we had stuff for our portfolio and stuff like that. But we were then in a position where we're like, okay, let's start doing the right thing for us. And the right thing for us was working for a really specific type of client in terms of the personality and in terms of budget. And I feel like now we're in a position now where it was weird that a client fired us, because I feel like that kind of thing hasn't happened in a long time where we didn't align.
Yeah, exactly. Like I didn't even know how to handle that anymore, because it's been so long since we worked with someone where we just couldn't align with the process at all.
Yeah, it just wasn't compatible.
No, not compatible, but
which is fine.
Yeah,
and I think it's good. I think it's a good outcome if people can part ways.
Yeah,
and
amicably. Yeah.
No, I also think it's better to part ways. I think it's a positive thing to be fired or to fire a client, because it usually means that someone was unhappy in that situation, and parting ways means that people can go back to being happy doing what they're doing.
Yeah, like there's no bad faith. No bad.
Yeah, is it bad blood?
Yeah, bad blood, I guess.
Yeah, like
that sounds so serious.
No, I just don't think it's a bad thing. I think people see firing as something negative. Like obviously it's I guess it's a negative thing if you're dependent on every single client to then lose one.
Yeah, to be rejected. It's also a feeling of rejection.
Yeah, there's a feeling of rejection there. But that didn't bother me in the slightest.
No, but because I think both sides were unhappy. I think it's different if one side is happy and the other one is unhappy.
Yeah, it's like a breakup.
Then it's like a breakup that really hurts. But we were already not happy, and they were also not happy, and then that's like
it works out perfectly for everyone.
Exactly, so that's fine. But I think it's different if one is happy and the other one isn't. But I don't think that happens a lot, because I think like if one part is super unhappy and then the other one is probably also unhappy. Like unless you're like,
I feel like it's hard to be unhappy and not make it obvious.
Yeah.
And like in these kinds of projects where you're working closely and there's process and people are like, if one party is unhappy, you can usually tell.
Yeah, because they start treating you differently, especially in the context of work. Like either something comes up with you feeling resentment and then being like not wanting to do things, and they notice, like, how this is not possible, it's not possible, or I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Or them being disrespectful towards your work.
Exactly. I feel like in that context, you can really tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else something that comes up probably on the first client call already to look out for? I think that's one of the biggest red flags that you've mentioned, but I'm just thinking of if there is something else that we notice that don't align with our processes. Maybe, okay, I have something. That's not a red flag per se. That doesn't mean it's a bad client or bad client relationship, not automatically. However, when a client doesn't have a lot of experience or doesn't have a team that has experience with the project that we're building or the website we are building, that's a bit of a soft one. Like a yellow flag, I would say.
It depends on their personality.
Exactly.
Again.
Exactly.
I feel like that depends 100% on their personality.
Exactly, because it could be someone who completely values and respects it.
And they're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Please do
Exactly.
this for me. I'm so grateful that someone who knows what they're doing is doing
Exactly. So this could be the best case outcome.
Yeah.
Because then you have like a really nice business partnership.
Yeah, they're usually very low key and they're just happy to
Exactly.
get anything done.
Exactly. So this is the best case scenario. However, there's another side to that coin where they can be super, I don't know how to say, but it can get super difficult because since they don't know
They don't understand the level of effort because
They need
they've
to put
never
in.
but they've also never been involved in something like this before, so they don't understand the process.
Yeah.
And then they start questioning everything you do.
Exactly, which kind of leads us back to the other thing, because usually those can also be the type of people that don't value your work.
Yeah, and they're like, why is this taking so long? Is it supposed to take that long? Or like, why is it so expensive? Because they don't understand. They see the final product, which always looks easy.
Yeah.
You've done it well, it looks easy. And then they're like, why did this take so long? Why is this so expensive? Like,
Yeah.
they want you to add something, and later down the road you say, okay, this is going to cost extra, and they're like, why? Like that can turn into that type of person.
Exactly. So that's what I mean, yellow flag, because we've had both.
Yeah.
And yeah, some turn out really great, big love,
Yeah.
and some is just more difficult to
Honestly, the
navigate.
best clients are the ones that have a team and there is someone involved who's done this project, whatever it is that they're doing with an outside person before, so they understand.
That's the very best. I've never had I'm thinking if you ever had a bad experience with that.
Because they understand. They're like, when they bring up things like, they're like, okay, this, I know we didn't discuss this. I know this wasn't in the initial proposal. Please let us know how much it's going to cost. They bring those things up because they've been through that
that's
before.
the biggest chills. That's
the best thing.
Yeah, we have a lot of those clients actually.
Yeah.
That they're self-aware that things are beyond scope and what the scope is.
They're aware of the scope too. They don't forget that. I feel like a lot of clients we had in the past also just forgot the scope.
Yeah.
And then you bring it up and they're like, oh, that wasn't included, or like, what was the scope? Like, they're not really aware of anything. They're not really very involved.
Yeah, because they also probably they don't understand it.
They don't understand that they should be aware of that and keep that in the back of their mind, I think.
Yeah, and there's only so much of education you can do as a service provider.
Yeah, I mean, I
think you should do.
I feel like partially you should provide education, but I feel like sometimes also it's not necessary and shouldn't be necessary.
No, that's what I mean. Like a certain level about the processes, maybe about the scope and explaining, of course.
Yeah.
But super, super beyond that, I'm like, I'm not sure if it's our job.
We should be talking about
what a website. I mean, yes,
I did this, and this, and that's why it costs so much.
No. But what I mean is, like, for example, just like a component, like a hero component, which is usually the first component on a website, that can already lead to misunderstandings, what it will include.
Yeah.
And it's like super difficult you have to be super precise, right?
You have to be
specific, but like this will include a image, this will include a video. And because we just noticed that even with components like that, there can be so many misunderstandings.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I thought that this would be like auto playing, and then you're like, no, and then you go down that like rabbit hole of what is a hero.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like suddenly you have to question what is everything.
Yeah.
And it's like super difficult if someone doesn't have experience in it.
Definitely.
But yeah, what else? I mean, those are the biggest ones I can think of. Obviously, low budgets. That's another thing, but again, valuing the work.
I think the most important thing to remember is just to, I guess, know when it's time to fire a client. Be okay with firing a client and also be okay with getting fired. I think, yeah, okay, you might have a feeling of rejection. I think it's also a good idea to ask them why. Like if they don't give you a reason and you do feel like it's unjust or like unfair or you feel weird about it because it was fine for you and it wasn't fine for them, definitely ask and get feedback. And then maybe if it was your issue and it's something you can improve, obviously improve on that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a negative thing to be fired by a client or to fire a client. I guess that's the main message I just wanted to say in this podcast because of that recent experience where I felt like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like it didn't affect us at all. I even forgot about it. Like days after, because you mentioned it, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like that's how little it affected me.
Okay, I think I had more of a...
I mean, you were more involved.
I was more involved in that project.
That would have annoyed me. That would have really bugged me like a couple of years ago.
No, for sure. I think also because we've been through that and we noticed that it's the best for both parties. We fire someone, it's the best for us. And if they fire us, it's the best for them.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they came to this conclusion by thinking about it a lot and not just like out of, I don't know, affect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So... they thought about it, and that's
and that one client that I forgot before earlier in this episode, we actually tried to fire them.
I had it,
and then they didn't let us, and then we continued on. And please, had we had fired them, we would have saved ourselves so much time and energy and emotional labor and emotional energy in general. Like, oh my, can you imagine?
Oh my god, it was so bad.
It was
I remember,
so bad. Like financially, it was so bad financially, mentally draining. It was, all of it was terrible. And had we fired that client when we felt like we should fire them, had we just been like, no, look, we cannot continue this, and just stood our ground, I think we would have been so much better off.
100%. I think it's like with any relationship that you have that is draining you.
Yeah.
Like interpersonal relationships, it is an interpersonal relationship, even though it should be quotation marks professional. At the end of the day, we are all just people.
Yeah, and you're constantly like in contact and have to do stuff together.
Exactly. You're like a team, and not every team works, and you cannot get along with everyone, and not everyone can get along with you. People have different processes, different expectations, different workflows. Like it's difficult to find people who mesh well.
Yeah.
And it's nothing inherently personal. Actually, it's usually not personal.
No, I mean, then it was kind of
okay, but I mean, like from all the people, that one was personal. And we've worked with, I don't know, hundreds of people at this point.
I know, yeah.
So,
and that was a personality thing. Like that was a thing where the personalities just did not align, and nothing we could have changed or they could have changed would have made that work.
No,
it was just we could not. Process does not. It didn't. Nothing aligned.
No,
it was literally like
the foundation was already.
It was like oil and water. It just does not go together. Yeah. That's what it was like.
Yeah.
And I honestly, if I had one regret and same, it would be that.
Yeah,
we didn't fire them when we had the chance.
Yeah, that's for sure. God, I don't even want to think. I kind of like, I'm happy that I kind of like shut that away.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I mean, I forget about it too. Like I forgot about it just now, like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but back then I remember I was doing terribly because of that client.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's. If you notice, I feel like if you already notice this content that you don't feel like you can solve, or it's like really just a fundamental thing, for sure, it's like a sign to let go. Obviously, there's more to that. So, for example, if it's a client that kind of like finances your...
Yeah, I mean, if it's your income, like 100% income, if it's the biggest client you have, obviously no one should go into financial ruin because of that. But I do think that in our case, for example, this one client, the reasoning behind ending up not firing them was a financial decision.
Yeah.
But in the end, we actually made a loss because of that.
Yeah, we already made a loss.
We had already made a loss at that point, and we thought, okay, let's finish the project so we get the final payments. But by the time those projects were finished, they dragged on for so long that by the time those projects were finished, that final payment meant nothing.
No.
In the grand scheme of things, it was a minus project. It was a loss. So what was the point of staying? Like, we thought it was financially made more sense that way, and it turned out it didn't. So had we just like gone with our gut feeling, we would have been better off.
Yeah, I think that also usually people who have higher budgets are, in our experience, more, how to say, like, not, I'm missing the words. Usually you have a better partnership with them.
Yeah.
Because again, it comes with experience too. And yeah, it's just usually the personalities. I don't know, from our experience, it was always a better project. Like, they weren't really like...
I think that the money aspect is just a strong one. So if someone's spending a lot of money on something, they usually have more respect for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they'll usually also pick someone they respect. You're not going to spend a lot of money on someone you don't respect or question their expertise. It doesn't make sense. So there's already that foundation of they see you as the expert, and there's that the hierarchy is clear, their role is clear, your role is clear. There's no like blurring of those lines, and I think that's why it works well. Thank you for listening to this episode of Never Went to Business School. Don't forget to follow us here on Spotify, and if you enjoy our content, check out our YouTube channel for more educational videos and subscribe to our newsletter on Substack.